Steno peeps, Jen back with a brand new dictation. Today we're going to do a literary called A Christmas Rush, The Last Minute Chaos. This is at no particular speed, so set your speed controller and let's get started. The bell above the door jingled as Elizabeth stepped into the small, dimly lit shop, the only one left open in the frenzied downtown. Her breath came out in sharp puffs as the air conditioning battled the bitter chill outside. Her phone flashed a reminder. Buy gifts. 10 minutes. That's all she had left before the store would close, and she hadn't even gotten half of the presents she needed. Panic gripped her, but she wasn't the only one around her. The store was teeming with frantic shoppers, darting between aisles as if time itself were chasing them. Shelves that once seemed brimming with options now looked barren, picked over, the festive reds and greens mocking her with their fleeting promise of holiday cheer. Elizabeth's eyes darted from shelf to shelf, hoping for inspiration. A woman in front of her snatched the last box of chocolate truffles, leaving Elizabeth standing there, staring at the empty space, her fingers twitching. Focus, focus, she told herself, and hurried down the narrow aisle, passing boxes of glittering ornaments and baskets of half-price candles. She grabbed a plush reindeer for her niece. Too late to return it, but maybe it would do. "Excuse me," a voice rang out. A man in an ill-fitting Santa hat elbowed his way past her, clutching a bottle of perfume in one hand and a set of men's socks in the other. His red face flushed with effort as he glanced over his shoulder. Sorry, need to make it home before the kids." Elizabeth stepped aside, her heart racing. The clock was ticking, each second making her feel more frantic. She pushed through the crowded aisles, trying to avoid bumping into the overwhelmed shoppers, all of them with the same glazed look in their eyes. The ringing of cash registers, the clattering of carts, and the occasional squeal of children filled the air like an orchestra playing the tune of impending doom. She spotted a line forming at the front. One cashier, just one. The queue stretched all the way back to the holiday display, as if the entire store had decided to check out at the same moment. The person in front of her was holding a tangled pile of scarves, and behind her, a woman with an overflowing cart sighed loudly, as if the mere act of waiting had taken on a personal offense. Elizabeth was almost at the counter when the sound of the bell above the door jingled again. Another frantic shopper bursts inside, breathless and desperate. "I just need one more thing. What do you have left?" With a resigned groan, Elizabeth placed her measly purchases on the counter. "Merry Christmas," she muttered, half smiling at the cashier, who didn't seem to hear her over the frantic clatter of credit cards and hurried exchanges. 10 minutes. She had done it, barely. Outside, the lights of the city flickered with a last-minute gleam of hope, and Elizabeth stepped into the night, exhausted but strangely relieved. Christmas chaos was nearly over, at least for today. Outside, the cold air slapped Elizabeth's face, a sharp contrast to the warmth inside the store. She hugged her coat tighter around her and glanced at the street. She was alive with the frantic energy of one last-minute holiday rush. Storefronts were still decorated with garlands of holly, bright bulbs twinkling like stars, caught in a perpetual chase to beat the clock. The sidewalks were clogged with hurried pedestrians, some wearing hats, others holding paper cups of coffee, their breaths rising in the chilly air. Every person seemed to be in a race, one that had no finish line, at least not until the 25th. Okay, well, hopefully you are not in that situation and you have all of your Christmas shopping done. So cheers to you for finishing up that dictation, and I will see you on the next one.